Y'all have got to live free, or you will die hard.
Are you threatening me?
Now,
Wait,
come on, man. I mean,
I thought it was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Wait a minute, say it again.
I thought it was Get Rich or Die Trying.
No, it's another movie.
No, this is the worst title of any Die Hard movie. One of the worst titles I've heard in a long time. I mean, it's like they got together Leonard Skinner and said, "Could you come up with a title for our new movie?" You know, hey, can we write the theme song? If I live free or die hard. You know, it's.
Well, hell, there's so much computer talk going on in this movie. They should have titled it Die Hard XP.
Die Hard 4.0 was an initial title of this.
Which would have been a better title and made more sense. But thank
Wait,
God,
start over?
Which would have been a better title and made more sense. But thank God the worst thing about this movie is the title. Because generally speaking, it's a pretty fun little action movie.
Well, okay, maybe I'm just a little bit too literal here. How many times can this son of a bitch be in the wrong place at the wrong time? Goddamn, lightning does not strike once, twice, 3 times. It strikes 4 times with this man here, and I can't get around that.
You're a plant, aren't you?
Hey, he lives in New York City. I bet this kind of thing happens all the time. Probably more so to other people.
No, go ahead.
This is what's implausible to you. This is what you can't wrap your mind around. Him practically tap dancing on the back of a high-tech jet while, you know, this jet is flying on a chasing a truck that's underneath the highway. And your problem is, how many times can this happen to John McClane?
On a scale from Woody Allen film to James Bond film, is James Bond looking in the distance going, I think I can kind of see him way out there.
Yeah, look, no, I don't hate this movie. I think it's fun, but it's not as good as I thought it would be. This is probably the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time, and I recommend it if you just want to go see some cool special effects. But after a while, I just went kind of numb.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, this movie gets so ridiculous. I mean, it makes The Transporter look like a documentary.
Yeah, no, I've seen Wile E. Coyote cartoons more realistic than this. I mean, look.
I gotta call you guys on this because it stays a pretty normal action film and doesn't go too implausible. It stays within the general realms of an action film until about the last 20 minutes, at which point it just says, you know what? Fuck the laws of physics. Who needs them? Let's have these bizarre, it just gets weird. And it's like, wow, this actually, I was buying this world for a little while. And then all of a sudden, you know what? We're talking about plausibility. This is where I got to call my thing. What was bugging me. What's up with these super hackers that can apparently touch any computer known to man and do like 4 keystrokes and get whatever information they know? Do they live in a universe that doesn't have Windows XP? Is this what's going on where they don't have any load times whatsoever?
That kills me every time with hackers in a movie. It's like, okay, I need you to hack into the mainframe of the Pentagon and move the sun to the southern hemisphere. And they just, there you go. Delibbity flappity flew. There it is.
Done.
Honestly, this has been a convention of films for 30 years, though. I mean, like, it's not like we can just bitch about it now and go, hey, did anybody notice that? That was weird.
But this was all that. It was, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'll accept a little bit, but I'm like, 2 hours of it? Come on.
I was waiting for Johnny Lee Miller to show up with Angelina Jolie and start hacking the planet. It was really getting out there at points.
Maybe y'all don't agree with me, but for me, with the exception of The Matrix, all that computer stuff in a movie is just boring. Just watching guys type on a keyboard. It's like they have to make it ridiculous just to hold your interest, because I'm like, wake me up when you stop typing, Peabody.
Well, that's why they had explosions going on around people as they were typing. I mean, I thought John McClane was the only one that was invincible. Apparently, if you hang with him, his invincibility, like, it's like, what would you say? It
rubs off on you. It surrounds you.
Yeah,
it's an aura.
It envelops you.
Yes, right. It's like it's an aura around him. It envelops you. It transfers to you. I mean, it's like everybody else dies. Okay, if you're not his sidekick, don't hang around.
Because don't even leave his general vicinity.
Because you are dead.
You know what? You're saying, I was thinking too, I was like, man, this guy is invincible. Like, there's no shock to his body that he can't just get up and walk away from. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. I bet all it is that he just doesn't have health insurance. He's like, I can't afford to go to the hospital. I better get my ass up and shoot some more bad guys.
He is from New York City.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he's a cop, so.
What's that?
He's a cop, so yeah, he probably doesn't have good health insurance.
Yeah, it's amazing how no health insurance will give you certain powers.
Well, it's just one one of those things where, you get into a car accident in one scene and you're like limping and you could barely hold, the flesh in your body together. And the next scene, you're fine because you gritted it off for a moment.
Yeah. Did y'all see the previous Die Hard films? Is this like new to y'all, this whole John McClane subject? Because they're all completely ridiculous and implausible. Do you remember in part 2 where he flew up in the sky out of an airplane that was exploding? I mean, you can't really criticize a Die Hard film at this point for being implausible.
Well,
unless you hate them all.
That was an ejection scene. It seemed there's certain levels of belief, and there's the belief of a real life film to where certain it's really hard to actually pull anything cool like that off. Then you have action film laws of physics, and these are the things that we'll accept. When bullets hit things, they spark. Okay, we'll buy that, even though that's not really how we buy it because we want to live in that universe for 2 hours. Then you step into a whole new realm. And really, this is where the problem happened was Die Hard 3. Because Die Hard 1 and 2, the whole point of John McClane was he was the everyman. Right. And he would get the crap kicked out of him. And by the end of 1, he can't even walk out of the building on his own locomotion. He's being carried out because he's been fucked up. But by the third film, he's superhero John McClane. You can't touch this. I can heal from any wound, and I could jump out of a car, and that car will automatically jump with the perfect precision to hit a helicopter in midair.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think about this as much as I consider this movie to be on the same level as I saw in. Well, let me put it this way: I see these movies as the previous Die Hard movies. But the thing is, it wasn't like they said, how can we top each other action-wise? They said, how much more stupid can we get with these movies? And this one really did achieve that level for me. It is the dumbest out of all 4. And it's the first movie set such a good precedence for the rest of these films. I mean, it was a guy who really did get caught up in the wrong place. And while his stunts were, a little far-fetched, they still had a leg in reality. And now that computers have come along, they just said, fuck it, we can make this motherfucker ride on a jet. You know what I mean?
Well, now keep in mind that a lot of what you're talking about is coming from the director. Now, this is directed by Len Wiseman, who has exactly 2 credits to his name.
Underworld.
And Underworld Evolution.
Yeah.
Neither of which are any good whatsoever. How this guy, who he blew to get this freaking job, astounds me. I have no clue what he did. But you know what? This is much better than his previous efforts, but it definitely has that kind of sterile, not really that emotional, but kind of pretty thing going on that he does.
So go ahead.
It's funny because I thought the direction on this was pretty bad, actually. Like on some of the talking scenes, just the back and forth. I was like, this is not so good. And also, really, I mean, I didn't get bored completely, but the pacing was pretty off because it was either boring talking on cell phones and hacking on computers, or ridiculous, bigger than life action that was just like, a Wile E. Coyote. It was just a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, and it just went back and forth between the two without any real middle ground. Yeah,
shit. Wile E. Coyote be looking at him, shaking his head like, man, not even I can go there. But look, I'm not totally coming down on the film because just like everything else I've seen this summer, it is just there for you to watch. You cannot take this story seriously. At least I feel like it's I mean, I'm caught in the position of saying, normally I wouldn't recommend you go see a movie like this, but you probably want to see these explosions on the big screen. So go check it out at a matinee.
I don't know. This brings me back to when I was a kid watching the movies in the 80s. The big action films that were totally ridiculous, not even vaguely plausible, but were still lots of fun. And this was lots of fun for me. I agree with you. It's so implausible, it's laughable. But it was still fun, and it worked for me, and it moved at a solid pace, in my opinion.
I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. I especially love the casting. They took some of my favorite underrated actors right now and gave them, some pretty prominent roles.
Please don't say Kevin Smith.
No. Kevin Smith, I thought was a cute cameo thing. No, I'm talking about Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Justin Long. I'm talking about Cliff Curtis.
Tuvok.
Tuvok. That's right. The Elephant Corey.
Dude, the guy wasn't wearing makeup when he played that role. He still looks like a freaking alien. Oh my God. No, but they had all these great actors who were pushing it. And one of the interesting things is Lucy McClane is the girl who played Lucy McClane in the very first Die Hard.
Oh.
Yeah, she grew up to be an actress, and she, in fact, I found this out a couple of years ago because I was looking at box covers and it had the girl's name and it said Die Hard. And I said, this girl's got to be 22. There was no way she was in. She's the little girl. And
Wow.
they're still crediting her as being in Die Hard because that's all that she's been in. That's worth it. But
She was the villain in Sky High.
now, yeah, but this was before that. But no, but I thought that was pretty cool to have that casting. And they all did a great job because he chose really great people.
Yeah, no, and she grew up to be pretty hot too.
Pretty
The
hot.
head of the FBI guy, who's this Middle Eastern actor who
Cliff
started.
No, it's
who's-
It's Cliff Curtis. He's New Zealand, but
Yeah,
he's
Maori.
dark.
He always gets cast as Middle
Yes,
Eastern
he does.
characters,
Or
and
Mexican.
and you have to wonder if like he doesn't work for some sort of anti-defamation committee because for the last 5 years he's done nothing but like really smart policemen and stuff like that. You know, he started as a terrorist,
Yeah.
and now all he plays is top cops.
Yeah,
Training Day.
You got-
Mexican. Mexican gang member.
And he also, what was the Runaway Jury? He played a Mexican war hero. He came back from Gulf War.
And he was Pablo Escobar.
Yeah,
in,
no,
Blow.
I don't think it's him working on a defamation league. I think it's no, I'm not going to play a terrorist anymore. I did that, and especially in this day and age, I'm not even Middle Eastern. Get off my fucking back.
he was in his agent's office with bombs in his hand. I'm not gonna play a terrorist anymore. Beep, beep. Yeah.
No, but I love Cliff Curtis, and he was great here. Everybody was really great.
No, I want to say great. I mean, Cliff Curtis. As much as I like that guy, he was the police chief who always said, "Give me what I need right now."
Damn it, McClane!
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but
You guys been holding out on me?
Yeah.
but he worked.
No, he worked. I mean, look, the movie did what it needed to do. Whether you accept it on that level or not, that's another thing. Some people will, some people won't. Some people be midway like me. I thought the movie was kind of cool until I just said, "God damn!" But you know, but why don't they just look? If they're gonna make a fifth movie, just come out and tell us. Just let us know, because we all know already. John McClane is the Terminator.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just make him a robot, or use the script for Wolverine, somebody who can heal.
That fool, he cannot be stopped.
Oh, but one thing I love though, like every time the villain gets on the phone, I guess this is in all the movies. It's the John McClane comedy hour.
Yes.
he gets on there. He's like when Justin Long is on, like, let me talk to him. He's like, no, give me the phone. I got some A material I've been dying to try out.
No, you just gotta understand. The reason why his wife divorced him was because he kept taking the phone away from her. You know, it's not just with terrorists; it's with everybody. Apparently, you know, ooh, give me the phone. Go away, John. I'm talking to my mother. No, give me the phone.
Yeah, I mean, when the world blows up after the nuclear war, it's gonna be roaches and John McClane.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's interesting? There was that great moment in. I really liked it because they were stepping outside of the film, and it was obviously whoever wrote the script was writing this with, you know, because they were making a commentary on common action films. And Justin Long says, you know, why do you keep doing this? You know, what are you doing? And he goes, you know, he essentially says, because there's no one else out there that can do what I do. And it's kind of like, you're right. There isn't anybody right now.
Yeah.
We kind of need John McClane right now because, you know, who are we going to call to save the world? You know, we've got, you know, the only other hero that everybody loves right now is a gay pirate. So,
Well, you know, I mean, plus we forget the fact that he's from the future and has an exoskeleton and has a metal skeleton underneath.
Well, there's no reason. I mean, there's no wonder nobody else can do what he does because we're all human.
Exactly. And when, you know, that movie Unbreakable, somebody saw that and just took it too literally and transferred it to the Die Hard movies. Because, I mean, he acts like he's hurt. You know, he'll do it for 5 minutes. You throw his ass up against the wall, like, ow, but I'm coming to get your ass. You know, it's like, come on, man. Why you don't even fake that shit? You ain't hurt. Get up.
The thing is, every movie, he's got to deal with something like twice as big. Like the first one is just an office building, and the next one is an airport, and the next one is an entire city, and this one is the whole United States of America, and the next one will be the future, obviously.
Yeah.
hey, and can I get his magical car that allows him to travel state to state, like with no time whatsoever? The whole world's falling apart, but John McClane can get into any car and be in West Virginia like that.
At least he downloaded how to fly a helicopter in this one, you know?
Oh, I love that.
I took a couple of lessons.
Yeah, anybody can just walk into, like, just because you're on the police force, that mean they teach you how to fly helicopters.
I saw it in a movie.
But you know,
It's so plausible.
but the thing is, you're right. I was thinking, this fool has saved the world from so many disasters, yet he's still a lowly detective in New York. I mean, he should be the president by now. Or
You
something.
think at least his kids would respect him at this point? It's like, dude, you saved the world how many times? Your kids are like, God, Dad, you're an asshole.
Well, you know, when somebody saves the world, they get in a big parade and they start to get a big head, makes everybody else look bad, and people are like, you know what? Fuck that guy. I'm not promoting him.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep in mind, it's, one of the great things about this character is from minute one in the first movie, he's a douchebag. And he never stops being a douchebag. Just think of the biggest jerk you know, and imagine if on top of being the biggest jerk you know, he keeps saving people's lives and killing terrorists. You're just like, God, I fucking hate that guy. Why is he always the one that's the hero?
There's a villain for the next Die Hard. You can get that black cop from the first two movies. He's always sitting in the car. Just had it with it. He's like, man, I was doing my part, but it was like, John McClane, John McClane.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I wonder, like, between movie 3 and movie number 4, how many lives he saved or how many villains he's foiled. You know, there's like a room full of supervillains who have like, I hate the John McClane fan club.
Oh, but there's one villain that he hasn't been able to beat. And that's the ratings board, because they made this a PG-13, so he couldn't say his famous yippee-ki-yay motherfucker. It was just yippee-ki-yay.
That's true, man.
Well,
That's
but it was, a lot of people whined about this. A lot of people bitched. But the fact of the matter is, it felt like a rated R movie. It certainly had the violence. They just didn't go over the top with the gore this time. They just didn't spray the blood everywhere. He shoots plenty of people. He kicks the crap out of people. He certainly blows up enough people. This thing has a bigger body count than most of the other rated R films we have coming out this summer.
Yeah, these days Disney movies can be brutally violent as long as they don't drop the F-bomb.
But he didn't say the phrase. He didn't utter Shazam.
No, that's
He didn't
true.
eat his spinach. He didn't say yippee-ki-yay motherfucker.
No, you're right. One more thing before we close out. Is it just me or is John McClane or Bruce Willis starting to look like another super cop? Michael Chiklis from
Oh,
The
yeah,
Shield.
yeah. He's totally looking like Michael Chick. That's the thing. When he first comes on screen, you go like, man, he might have stayed in shape, but his face is looking haggard.
Yeah, no, Michael Chiklis from The Shield. Yeah, I forgot his name for a moment. But yeah, he kind of looks like him, doesn't he? Right?
That's another possibility. As the villain for the next one, he could be his long lost brother. He's the villain. Just let him grow out like the scruff a little bit, and there you go.
No. Yeah, he'll have a goatee. He'll be John McClane from an alternate universe.
There you go.
Here's-
Mirror, mirror, John McClane.
Here's my problem, and this is the one thing that I was wondering through this whole film. This guy saved the Nakatomi Towers. He saved an entire airport, and then he, ran around New York City while it blew up. This guy has been on the news constantly. Why the hell does, one, nobody recognize him, and two, not make a comment like, who does this guy think he is, John McClane? That was the moment I was waiting for, where it's like, oh, does this guy think he's some kind of John McClane? Who's on the phone? John McClane. Shit! You Jesus Christ! Does this man ever let up?
You did just want to see the villain, say something like that and go, oh, you have got to be effing kidding me.
John McClane is here. It's at this point he's like Superman. It's the villains are working out their plot. It's like, who's outside knocking on the door? Boss, it's Superman. Shit.
Abort.
Yeah.
Abort.
Yeah, we need to have Dr. Doom getting ready to have the satellite blow up the Earth, and he gets the call, and it's like, God damn, it's John McClane.
And he's cracking wise again.
I knew I should. Right?
How you doing, metal face?
Oh no. You son of a bitch.
Dr. Doom just be like, oh, fuck it. Bam.
He's a Crank Cullen
I knew I should have
superhero.
ordered more henchmen.
You'd be like, look, man, I quit. It's all yours. Yeah, well, I'll be up there to help you quit in a minute. No, seriously, I'm done. It's all yours. Anything you want.
Oh yeah, all the henchmen are running around. Who's here? John McClane. All right, bye, boss. No, we know how this turns out. We've seen the first three movies.
So what would y'all give it?
I give full price myself.
Matinee for me.
I'm torn between full price and matinee. I'd say, you know what? It's fun. It's full price.
Yeah, I'd say matinee.